Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Red Dragon TV. And here we are for another lockdown chat. This time we've got David Evans with us. Dave, first of all, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Phil. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. We've seen a bit of each other over the last month.
Yeah, we have done well. I think more of each other than most, I think.
Yeah. First of all, it's obviously a strange time. It's unprecedented. How are you coping with lockdown?
At first, it was quite hard, but now I'm in the swing of things for the last 4 or 5 weeks playing darts in the Modus Icons Live League, and at night at the darts, it's been a lot less pressure off, I would say. But yeah, keeping there and getting going.
Has that been keeping you sane? The fact that you can still play some darts?
Yeah, absolutely massive. I can't spend that long in the same room with my wife. You know, love her to bits, love her to bits. But we do our each other's head-ins sometimes. But yeah, apart from that, it's been good.
When lockdown came around, were you sort of like almost expecting it because of the way we'd seen other European countries do it? So were you not? I'm guessing you weren't surprised that it happened.
No, I wasn't surprised at all. It was just inevitable of when it was going to happen. Really, so Spain gone lockdown, Italy, France, Germany, etc. Constant emails I was getting of flights cancelled, and I was like, "Well, we've got to be next." So it was going to happen eventually. Yeah.
What was that like for you? And that when all these emails were coming through, knowing that tournaments were disappearing left, right, and centre, was that tough to take?
Yeah, it was because you spend all your time doing the tour and doing the challenge tours and stuff like that as well, and you spent all that money and time and effort going chasing the points for the world rankings, and it's hard to get all those emails as if say you're not going to be able to chase those points, you're not going to be able to defend those points, and you've got to go through the hardship of trying to chase that money back, and if you don't get it back, you've lost out. So.
We see the PDC have been absolutely outstanding in their communication to all the players. I'm going to flip the coin here. What have the BDO been like towards the players, or has it been much of the same and what we expect of the BDO recently?
It's much of the same, to be fair. And what can we say about the video at the minute? It's personal opinion. It's not good. There's these new things about the Tri Nations and then the counties and the Super Leagues and stuff. But mainly the ones that are getting cancelled, it's the actual organisation of the tournament itself that has actually told us that it's cancelled. Like Denmark, Sweden, Antwerp, it's those that are getting in touch with us saying it's cancelled. It's not the BDO that's doing it. They're just confirming it after it's already been said. So it's like, well, you're telling us something we already know. We knew last week. You know this week. So it's really bad what they're doing. But at least we know, and it's for the foreseeable future, I would say.
Now, I know you were quite outspoken about this, the BDO chairman and his reign. He resigned. Were you gobsmacked, astounded when you saw the news that he'd been re-elected as chairman?
I was quite shocked. Yeah, to be fair, I thought, well, first of all, if he's going to come back, what's the reason he left before? And now, what's the reason he's come back? So it's a bit weird. It's all up in the air with it at the minute. But yeah, I'm quite stunned that people have voted someone back in that resigned. If it was my company, I wouldn't do it at all.
I'm guessing as well. I don't want to put words in your mouth here, but I'm guessing as well is the BDO went backwards, in your opinion, as you said to me before, and nothing has changed for him to move it forward from when he left.
I mean, it started first couple of months that I was there, 5-6 months, whatever it was. It felt to me it was starting to move forward, and then all of a sudden it stopped and went backwards. But yeah, I don't think, in my opinion, if you resign of a job, that means you've given up. So what sort of leniency has he come back into it? What's he now got that he didn't have before to say that, right, I want another second crack at this? It just seems weird to me.
No, absolutely. And talking of the BDO worlds, have you had time to reflect and look back on what you achieved?
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, at first I didn't realise how much of an achievement it was, but then when I see like write-ups on dartsnews.com and on livedarts.com, your website itself, and it says, BDO World Championship quarter finalist, and I'm thinking, whoa, You know, I know it's the BDO, but it is still a big thing for dart players to get there. You know, and it is really good.
When you look back, I know, as you say, it's a great achievement to get there, but that quarter final, do you still look at it as a missed opportunity? Because there were great opportunities for you in that game to get further.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we all know, Mario's a great player, but at the time I was playing really really well. So I look at it and go 3-1 down, back to 3 apiece, and then I had the momentum, and I just didn't capitalise on it. To be fair.
From there, obviously,
Mm.
I'm guessing you wish you had more prep time for Q School because the two are very close together, aren't they? It's not ideal to come out of a world championship and literally you're straight back in at the deep end in the lion's den, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. You've played. I mean, I know that they're two separate standards. Personally, you've got the way that most of the players play on the video at the minute, sort of mid 90 averages most of the time, maybe low end 90s, and then you move into Q School and you've got 17, 18-year-old players. I mean, look at Vessel Neiman, 19 years old, 100 averages. You know, and you're having to adjust yourself to that in less than a week. It doesn't work. So I think I might just concentrate on getting the tour card in January. I think.
Although, as you said, it was a disappointment not to get your card. The experience, has that made you stronger and you now know what to expect at this year's Q School, or sorry, next year's Q School?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what's there. You know how many's going to be there. You know it's going to be a long 4 days. So you need to be able to prep yourself for it, really. And I think with doing the stuff over the last 5 weeks with Modus and with Red Dragon for the live leagues, it's been amazing. And it can only stand me in good stead ready for next year.
Touching on the live leagues, obviously there's a few of you in there that play Challenge Tour and looking to get your cards back. Are we expecting some battles from you guys, not only on the stream, but when you return to competitive stuff? And do you honestly believe that you guys are in a much better position than the ones that aren't playing in the stream stuff?
Yeah, I think we all have a bit of, as Chris said it the other night, a bit of banter beforehand, and yeah, I think we've all got a nice relationship now. We've all sort of got to know each other, and I think me and Vessel, as someone quoted the other day, are going to be sort of like a Taylor and Barney sort of rivalry. And I know Carl McKinstry says he's going to get me in Challenge Tour, so we'll wait and see. But yeah, it is really good, and I think we've got that little bit of advantage for people that haven't been playing these top quality games, because it can only help us rather than sitting down doing nothing. To be fair.
Have you got a date in your mind when you think that we might have some competitive darts back, whether that just be behind closed doors, Challenge Tours, or anything like that? Are you prepping for a certain date?
I'm probably looking, I would say probably September, maybe end of September. I don't think there'll be anything before then, if at all this year. It all depends on what the government is saying now. I know Italy went off lockdown yesterday in certain parts, so you never know. It might be looking forward, and they might think, well, if Italy's gone off lockdown and then Spain goes off next, etc., we might be next, so it might be sooner rather than later. But I've got sort of end of September in my head, yeah.
Where do you think the overall stand of the game will be when we come back as well? Because it's a long break without competitive darts, isn't it? And we've seen from social media platforms, certain players are doing their bit and doing stuff, but others we haven't seen an awful lot from. And I'm guessing the proof will be in the pudding when it comes back, who has put the hard work in during this break and who hasn't.
Yeah, of course, yeah. You can only tell, like you said, the proof's in the pudding. If you've been working on your game at home, whether it's on your own or against people on these live streams that are going on is it NO1 or whatever they're called. They've been doing on that. Some of them, obviously, as we've seen, armchair dart players. They just sit there and type the numbers in. But I don't know who, one of the guys, some Daredevil or something, I think he averaged 159 and a 5-0 win over Mike Smith. And I'm thinking, okay, mate, no chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be better for us, I think. And we're going to see who has actually bothered to put the practice in and who hasn't.
Do you think the overall stand of the game will take some time to recover, or do you think will be a slight dip but back up quite quickly?
I think it'll be a slight dip, but back up quite quickly because most of the players that play on the Challenge Tour and obviously the main Pro Tour, they never lose their standards. You know, I mean, you could be away for a week, 2 weeks at a time, and then get back on the board for a week solid, and then you're sort of roughly where you were. I know Michael, 2 or 3 weeks. If he's off for 2 or 3 weeks, you know, it only takes him that little tiny switch, and he's back up to 114 averages, whatever he does. But no, it's all about having that mental thing and persevering with what's happening and just getting on with it and making sure that you are ready for the next thing.
Plus, you've been at home as well. Are you one to tinker with your equipment, try different setups, maybe like mainly the back end of the dart flight stem combinations? Are you quite set in this works and I'm happy with it?
No, I'm set in stone with what I use. My barrels are done by Red Dragon, and the flight and stem systems L-Style. So I'm quite set in stone with those and playing well with them at the minute. So yeah.
Never been tempted to do a Peter Wright?
No, absolutely not. I don't know how he does it. You know, he's you know, I look at one tournament on the TV and I'll see one set of darts, and then the next game he plays, it's a different set of darts. I'm like, how can you do that? I couldn't do that, mate. No. I've had this set of darts since last year. So yeah, it's good and it's working for me. So stick with them.
And again, looking forward, I'm guessing we're hoping that you get some kind of World Championship to play in this year in the BDO before you attack the goals of 2021.
Yeah, hoping so. I don't think there'll be a BDO one, personally. I think the WDF are planning on one. But when that's going to be, nobody knows. Nobody knows what we're playing for if we do carry on doing WDF tournaments. There's nothing come out yet about that. Whether Little Richard comes out with something and Nick Rose comes out with something, we don't know. Potentially they're working on things as we speak. So I don't know what the plan is, but hopefully there will be a World Championship, yeah.
As a player, is that quite confusing? Obviously, we know the PDC, we know the brand, we know what it is, and everyone that it's there. But the conflict between the BDO and the WDF, where no player quite knows what's going on with either organisation at the moment, is that quite a challenging thing for a player at the moment?
Of course, yeah, because we don't know what we're doing. From one night to the next, we don't know whether we're spending all this money going out to different countries, picking up ranking points, but what the ranking points for. If there's no World Championships, no World Masters, no World Trophy, then what are we playing for? If the WDF are putting something on, then fair enough, you know, you go and chase those WDF points, but they're a lot harder to get because it's a different structure. If you look at myself at the BDO at the minute, I think I'm 8th on the rolling, number 2 in the seasonal. But on the WDF, I'm 10th, which is completely different.
Yeah.
I know obviously you've got Nick Kenny and Martin Claymaker that need to come off those rankings because they've got tour cards now, but you still look at it and they're still balancing down, and it doesn't justify what you've done over the year, to be fair. Perfect examples, Mike Warburton, number 1 in the seasonal, WDF, I think he's like sort of mid-15s or something like that, and it doesn't justify what he's done and what all the other players have done, to be fair.
David, it's an absolute pleasure talking to you on Knockdown, mate. It's been great chatting to you, getting inside, knowing what we do and just getting to know you and everything that's going on, mate. It's a pleasure talking to us here at Red Dragon as always, mate. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Phil. Take care.